The end of the season finally arrived. Game 5 of the finals, where the Celtics are looking to finally get over that hump and reach the basketball mountaintop for the first time in 16 years. Boston completely dominated this series from the start, and Game 5 was no different. All the tactical approaches the Celtics made in the series snowballed together in this game to lead them to a beatdown to clinch the title. Let's see what they did and why their run was so impressive. For my Game 1 breakdown, and even my finals preview video, I stated how the Celtics will be able to get whatever shot they want due to the Mavs' heavy help scheme. That was showcased in this game again, but for the first time all series, Boston didn't do anything particularly special to get their buckets. They started off with using Drew as a screener and putting him in short roll situations. In almost all these clips, Luka's guarding Drew, and the Mavs began the game blitzing Tatum on this pick and roll. Boston combated this by using Drew as a screener more instead of that dunker spot spacing that has worked so well for them in the series. This allowed Luka to be in the actions more often and use Drew's finishing and playmaking ability in space. You see here they use an empty ball screen and Drew slips off the switch and posts up to get to the rim, and although he misses, this is a great look early on. And even without the ball, he's now gaining attention. Gafford is so fixated on that roll from Drew that Horford is left wide open for the three. And now his playmaking skills is shown. He rolls to the block, and the Mavs don't communicate on the screen, and he stays patient to feed Brown for the dunk. Now here comes that blitz or hedge onto Tatum, so Drew is left wide open on the roll. And now he has a 3-on-2 with the weak side to play with, and he reads the help to find White wide open for the three. It's a great look, and even though he misses, they still end up with a bucket from Tatum. This was just a tiny wrinkle the Celtics used to find an advantage and play with their spacing a little. But a big highlight for me is the playmaking from Tatum in these situations. JT finished with 11 assists and a near triple-double. Like I said before, he saw a new coverage off that pick and roll, but he wasn't fazed and made the right read each time. This offense wasn't anything new that Dallas hadn't seen. Tatum just took whatever was given to him when he drove and saw multiple bodies. Plays like these show the growth he's made on this big stage that he struggled with in 2022 against the Warriors. Another example of this growth is a small conversation he had with Hauser about what he saw with the screens.
No, like if you coming up to set the screen from the corner, like walk baseline, like try to separate yourself or screen your own, stop short. Because he looking for the switch, and if you just stop short, we got the stop behind three, yeah.
What Tatum is explaining is that when Hauser comes off the baseline to set this go screen, he wants him to either start walking on that baseline before cutting up to come set the screen, which will create some space for him, or what he calls stop short, which I'll explain in a bit. Watch on these plays how Hauser just runs straight from the corner to the ball to set this screen. Although he gets open, it doesn't separate himself from Kyrie, who pre-switches onto him. Then here he does the same thing, just runs straight to set the screen. And this time he doesn't get open since there's no space he creates, but Tatum reads it right and finds JB in the corner. But in the third quarter, Hauser does what Tatum calls stopping short, where he basically screens his own man who's anticipating the switch, which gets Brown open for the pull-up. This is just a small detail that goes on in a game that many will overlook, but it shows the growth he's made with reading the floor. JT also finished with 31 points, and he showed everyone that his scoring is still in his game despite some of his lower numbers. This is the first game in a while that I can say that Tatum didn't settle for jumpers and use his 6'10 frame to attack downhill. This is what I mean by that. He rejects the ball screen, gets downhill, and finishes over two Dallas big men for the and one. My favorite move from him in this game, out of the 4-5 pick and roll, he gets lively again and flips his hips and uses a clean hezzy with his offhand for another and one. As long as he gets 2 feet in the paint, something good happened for Boston. Now he spins middle and Dallas stays home, so with only seeing that one defender, he raises over him for the turnaround. Again, this is just sheer size that he's using. The 4-5 pick and roll again gets a switch, and Luka plays good defense initially, but watch the in and out, and he goes off 2 feet to go up strong and finish over 2 defenders again. And again he uses his strength over a pretty big defender to get to the rim and finish over multiple bodies. He chose the right game to be great offensively, a closeout game to win a ring in front of the home crowd. But for the finals MVP frontrunner, he was dominant on both sides of the ball when the Celtics needed it the most. I talked about Tatum getting to the rim effortlessly in this game, but Brown, like always, gets to whatever spot he wants to get to and uses his strength to his advantage as well. The Celtics defense was so strong, and when he gets in transition off a stop, he's impossible to keep up with. His mindset on offense is elite, but what he showed the world with his defense is something that should be praised a lot more.
If Luka stays, I'll stay. If Luka stays, keep me in.
He wanted Luka wherever he went and every time he was on the floor, and Boston gave him that matchup, and he honestly was the best man for it. Every time Luka gave up the ball, Brown face guarded him to do the best he could in not giving him the ball back. Watch how he's picking up 94 feet and staying in front the entire way to force a miss. This is stuff that guys in the previous rounds against Luka were getting pretty drained and tired by, but Brown's conditioning was elite in this matchup. Again, he's picking up full court and making Luka work to even get the ball at the floor. Look how far back he's trying to initiate offense. He's forced to give it up, and Brown stays with him near half court and basically forced the Mavs to play 4-on-4 without their best player. Here he gets screened but recovers with the help from Porzingis, and when he caught up, Luka throws the ball away for the turnover. Watch how he blankets him and fights over these screens twice to force the ball out of his hands. Even off of Luka, watch him in help and just get a hand on the ball and get the steal. Then here again he recovers and deflects the ball for another Luka turnover. And lastly, watch his fight through these down screens, but eventually he gets beat. But Drew picks up, and their feel for each other defensively shows here with the clean switch. This is good team defense even though it ends in a bucket. Many Celtics fans felt like he was snubbed off an all-defensive team, and I'm sure he felt like that too. He improved his defensive reputation from this series alone by playing defense like this. And I know for the future he'll get his respect for his effort and skill defensively after this finals performance. But as a team, the Celtics did a great job overall defensively. Here on the weak side, Drew and Tatum switch so Tatum can eventually be on Gafford when he comes and sets the screen on White. It happens and Tatum fronts the post and Al comes down to help. Brown closes out at the top of the key, and the Mavs are forced to shoot a contested 3 from a non-shooter with the clock running down. And here, this is great defense but even greater offense. KP sticks on the screen leaving Washington open. Tatum and White rotate, and after the lob, there's a seamless closeout by Tatum again. He gets beat though, and Brown helps at the nail. Hauser and Porzingis basically tag at Kyrie, and he's in no man's land but somehow finds Lively for the lob. Then next, they trap Kyrie on the screen. Tatum stunts at the drive, and Hauser is at the rim and goes straight up for the contest. Their pick and roll defense was locked in. The Mavs wanted to attack their fives. Al is drawn out super far from the rim, and on a roll, Gafford is met by Brown and Hauser both tagging him to force a turnover. When you force a team to have their center drive from the top of the key full speed to the rim because the superstars are getting denied, you know you're doing something right. In this play, the Mavs don't get into their set until 14 seconds on the shot clock. The Celtics deny literally everything, and Kyrie is on an island one-on-one with a first-team all-defensive guy and forced to shoot a step-back contested 3 with one pass over half court in the possession. But the defensive sequence from the Celtics that shined the brightest for me was to close the third quarter out. They start off by making Luka shoot a pull-up 3 from behind the hash mark for an air ball. The next possession, Hauser stays in front and pushes Kyrie to his weak hand towards the help with a non-shooter in the corner for the miss. Then after that, Green goes straight to the rim to get blocked on a dunk. It's now been 3 straight possessions with 1 pass total. Off the offensive rebound, the Mavs settle for yet again another contested 3, which is of course a miss. The Celtics close both the quarter and basically their season, clamped down on the Mavs to expand the lead and run away with the title. They completely took away everything Dallas wanted to do and made it look easy en route to a league-leading 18th franchise championship. After years and years with the Jays, they finally get over that hump to get that monkey off their backs and silence anyone who thought they couldn't win together. Jaylen Brown shuts off all the noise and criticism from his $300 million deal by winning Finals MVP after many thought that wasn't even a possibility for him. And Jason Tatum joins the elite group of LeBron, Jokic, Tim Duncan, and Mavs coach Jason Kidd, and players who led their team in points, rebounds, and assists while making the NBA Finals. But shout out to the Mavs for even making it this far as a 5th seed and a roster lacking a lot of offensive talent around Luka and Kyrie. I can't sit here and say that they'll be back because with their roster in the competitive Western Conference is not a guarantee. But this ends a super fun playoffs that I enjoy giving you guys breakdowns and thoughts throughout the entire thing. It's officially draft season, and I'll be dropping my mock draft and big board for this super weird and congested draft class. I appreciate all the people who stuck with me during this run. As always, appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.